Creighton! We are now calling the offing to order at 3:49 p.m. Thank you all for being here. Currently, according to the attendance sheet, we have 97 people in attendance, though I believe that number is probably a bit above there. So when we are done with the all thing in court, please make your way to make sure you are signed in before you leave today. All right. Are there any crown or regents from foreign kingdoms or lands present? All right. All current kingdom officers are present except for our Kingdom Prime Minister and any park representatives present. Holding officers. They're Satyr's Hollow officers.
Okay. That's a lot of them.
Stag! You're being summoned!
Call their truck.
Who has a deer collar?
I guess that's
Just want to make sure we have a representative from the Holy Monarchy here. Officially on the document, Stag is present. Cool. All right, we're now going to go ahead and moving first thing into our appeals for the day. We have one appeal on the docket, and Palliser is going to take over running that appeals process.
Yeah, I'm here to moderate the appeal. I'm going to read over the case overview as it stands. We're then going to invite the appellant to come up and make a statement. And then after that, I'm going to moderate any statements or questions. We ask that anyone who chooses to make a statement, please limit it to about 5 minutes or less, please, so we can get through it at a reasonable time. Following that, on the ballot, you are going to be asked to vote on the results of this appeal. So there's an option to uphold, to repeal, or to opt into the ultimate sentence that Green has proposed. So let me read this case overview here. Over the past 6 months, multiple concerns were reported regarding Green the Blues conduct during battlefield and battle game activities. These concerns include conduct while participating as combatant, as well as interactions occurring in the context of field play and game administration. The reports reviewed by the disciplinary team describe a recurring pattern of escalating frustrations, hostility, or anger reactions, difficulty engaging with the game rules and field decisions in a constructive manner, and instances of physical conduct alleged to fall outside of normal and expected combat safety standards. Based on the information reviewed, the disciplinary team determined that the report conducted implicated the following sections of the Amtrak Code of Conduct to be violated. Section 2, physical violence outside of the normal bounds of combat conduct. Section 5, repeated unwillingness to follow game rules. Section 6, creating a hostile environment detrimental to the enjoyment of the group as a whole, including online or in-person harassment. The primary incidents considered in reaching this determination occurred at the KLE at Silvermoon in December and during battle games at Winterbash in February. These instances were reviewed together with prior concerns from the preceding months to determine whether they reflected isolated incidences or a broader pattern of conduct. After review, the disciplinary team determined that a temporary restriction from combat participation was the appropriate disciplinary action. For a period of 6 months, Green the Blue is restricted from participating as a combatant in AmpGuard combat activities. This restriction does not prevent Green the Blue from remaining involved in the community in other ways. Green may still serve as a reeve, run games, assist with battlefield administration, participate in non-combat activities, and spar or practice outside of official field combat where permitted by the applicable park or event leadership. The purpose of this restriction is to address the conduct concerns identified by the disciplinary team while allowing Green the Blue to remain engaged with the community in non-restricted roles. This summary is provided to inform the populace of the basis for the disciplinary action upon repeal. The populace may vote to uphold, modify, or overturn the decision according to the applicable appeals process. Green, would you like to speak?
Yes. Alright. I was given all of this information about a month ago, and I've been trying to actually formulate what I want to say to everyone. As you can see, this book is still attached to my hip because I could not put things that I wanted to tell you guys onto paper because my mind was just stunned. I was suspended in the past for this exact same behavior a year ago. I will fully admit that. I was a hothead a year ago. I deserve that full suspension of 2 months, no interaction with AmpGuard in general. That was my slap on the wrist telling me, hey, wake up, please. Focus up, become better at the game, better at interacting with my friends, better at interacting with my enemies, no matter if they are aggressive or not against me. Multiple times I have ran into other aggressive players and accidentally immediately responded in kind. I have then recused myself of that situation, avoided that player completely on the battlefield, unless they charged me, which then I would try to use my abilities to keep them away from me. Thus, trying to play the game while still making sure to keep everything managed. Eventually, if that doesn't work, I have fully recused myself from battle games. I think you all have seen me get hit in the head enough to watch me go into rage, watch me go into anger, take a minute, and then sit down at spawn. Or fully just leave the field in general. Yes, I may be agitated. However, I was never going to put it out on anyone else. I can't go into any detail on what happened each of those days, but every time... But of the things that happened on those days that I know of, in my own memory, I have actively walked up to those people afterwards, or they sought me out, and had a full-on conversation with me to clear up any of the misunderstandings. Everything went well, we shook hands, and after shaking hands, we separated, went our separate ways. We'd come back on the battlefield in a month or two, fight each other, and it was all great again. The reason why I'm pushing for a 2-month suspension or no suspension at all is because the Silver Moon KLE was 6 months ago. If any one that of those situations were the suspendable one, it was probably that one. I do not know which thing happened during Winter Bash, but I stayed on the field only during Farlanox games. There's one game that I did not stay on the field for Farlanox games. That wasn't a Farlanox game. And even that game, I still had Rago watching over me because I was fighting his kid, Lucian. Love that guy. Anyways, of all of those situations, I am fully sorry if I have upset anyone with my casting, because I am a loud, aggressive guy. I totally understand I am intimidating. I have been working since I was a wee baby to figure that out and not be as overpowering, but know when to be overpowering when things acquire it, like fighting 4 people at once. That being said, my goal is to get it fully overturned so I can keep fighting, keep going, and progressing as a better battle gamer and as a much calmer person. This appeal alone has inflicted me with enough to slow down my battle gaming even more. So I do hope you guys take that into consideration when you guys all make your votes, and I do appreciate you all. And that's the rest of my case.
We're going to open up the floor to the populace. If anyone would like to speak to Green regarding these matters, now's your opportunity. Sir Torg.
Hi guys.
Hey, George.
Yeah, I'm Green's roommate, so that's probably no surprise I'm speaking on his behalf. Green took his first ban incredibly seriously. He has recused himself from half the battle games in every single event. Kept park day, everything since he his first ban the last 2 months to work on himself. He has recused himself repeatedly from hostile situations as far as I've seen. And honestly, I don't think that a 6-month ban fits whatever situation he got himself into, even if he is still allowed to show up at the events. The ban itself also propagates to other kingdoms. I'd like people to take that into consideration of how that ban holds up. And so Green can't even participate outside of Blackspire and travel abroad because of these conducts. I also would like to thank the BOD for handling this matter. I know these things can be frustrating and delicate, but I think the nature of the ban itself kind of shows the splitness in the decision of how it was handled. The Green, they don't think, is such a hostile and violent person that he is not allowed to participate in the community as a whole. It is only in these field situations that they want this ban to take place, and I feel like that speaks volumes to Green's character. If he was actually a violent, dangerous person that people would want out of our game, the ban would have been much more severe, particularly given that he has a history of this past. And the first ban already recused him from participating in the group as a whole. So by the nature of the ban, I think that we can cue in a bit that the situation was more of him receiving the ban because of repeated behavior and not because of actual aggression or violence. You can take into that as you want. I just want you guys to think about this critically. I know that Green is a benefit to the community. I know that and I have seen himself work on himself so that he can participate in the sport that we all love and enjoy. If you have any questions about his character over the last couple months, come see me. We'll talk away from Green so that you can say what you feel like is comfortable. I won't tell him anything. It's cool. But I'm with him basically 24/7 here at Amtgard. I've seen a huge uptick in his character, his volunteering, and his self-regulation since his first ban. And so I just want you to take that into consideration when you decide how you wish to handle this. So I know we all get angry on the field sometimes. We all say things. I think that Green's under a bit of a microscope because of his first ban. And from what I've seen, I feel like the way how this was handled by the DOD in the best way that they could, considering the position that they're in. But as a player who sees him every single day, I have not seen any behavior that I personally think would be banned with. So thank you. Does anyone else have thoughts? I saw you over here. No, you, sorry. I don't know your name. No, Surefoot. Yeah. Surefoot, yeah, please.
I was just going to second that.
Okay, cheers. I love that. Short, sweet.
Hey everybody, I'm Surefoot. I'm from IHH down in Medford. So we don't actually get to see Green very often. We met him at Harb a few years ago, and his hot-headedness was definitely well known. We had a problem with him that day, but it was resolved off the field in a way that we felt that he was somebody that maybe got a bit too hot-headed on the field, but off the field was still very approachable and somebody that wanted to solve any conflict that he was in. Over the last 2 years, however long it's been now, every time I see Green, he has gotten consistently better at his attitude, surpassing many of the players that I have known for many years in their own work, in kind of rating in their emotions and understanding their own triggers and things that make them get angry and lose, that little bit of cool that gets them over the edge that people might, want them to back off a bit. But yeah, every 2 or 3 months we see him, and every single time it's just a better experience. We see less of him having any issues on the field, him being more cheerful, having just a really good attitude. And yeah, I would say that from when we met him to now is almost night and day. And I think that the first ban that he had was, definitely a wake-up call, as he said. But I think that anything forward, he's been one of the most open people to conflict resolution that I've had the pleasure of talking with. So, thank you.
Hello, everybody. So, full disclosure, Green is my overbelt, so take that as you will. But since he got the notice of suspension, he's come to Emerald Hill. Forgot Eternal Glades twice. Was it twice or 3 times now?
I think 3.
3 times. And he's helped me run battle games as champion, and every time he's been super helpful. Helped me modify games, improve my games, making sure everyone's being safe. So, ever since I've known him, I've known he's had a bit of a had a problem, but we've always talked off the field, talked online about it, talked to the game about it, trying to improve the situation, and he's done so much better since then. It's just, I've only seen him when he's come out to park because he tends to go to the park to me normally, but every time I've seen him, it's just been an improvement since then. So that's just my thoughts on it.
Oh, thank you. Yes, 5 and 6. 6 was involved. But yes, 6. 5, 6.
So I was the Reeve and game runner for the game and events that happened at the Silver Moon KLE last week.
Are you guys able to hear it? You might want to speak up a little bit.
Okay, I was the Reeve and game runner for the KLE battle game at Silver Moon. During that incident, I needed to step in between Green and this other person to stop it from getting worse. During that time where I was in the middle of their confrontation, the other person disengaged, said, "I'm sorry." Green did not. Green did not feel remorse until afterwards. It's the second time I've had to step in between 2 people from physical confrontation in my 8 years in the game, and that shouldn't be okay. As far as the COC 6,
We're not going to get into any of the actual text of the complaints, but they were investigated thoroughly, and we'll look for the findings.
okay, I think it should be focused a lot about the on-field altercations and not the COC 6. From what I know, I'll say I put in a grievance of COC 6 because someone came to me and told me that unprompted or anything, Green was spreading bad and saying bad things about me. This is super disheartening to hear that someone during a different park talking to people that don't know me are putting me down and saying false things. That sucks. That shouldn't happen. And I think the person who had the guts to come up and say something to me, but they themselves and the other people were afraid of retaliation, so they didn't want to put their name or come forward to say anything. That sucks. We are afraid of retaliation still. As Green admitted, his 2 months back then was a slap on the wrist. Since then, he's continued to do the thing. Even if he is only fielding half the time, he's still having problems. At Winter Match, I saw him bowl over somebody on the field, then needed a hold, and they needed to walk off the game. I don't like saying this, but it's true. And I know that he is a very great and nice person when he's not in the heat of it hot, but when he's in the heat of it hot, in my opinion, it still needs a little bit more work. And that's why I feel like this should not get taken down any further. I think that's all for you. All right.
Thank you for bringing up the other side of
during the time I've met him, that first grievance, admittedly, deserves a little bit. I've seen him take tremendous steps and growth from that point in taking himself out of positions like when I'm not even in the field watching on the sidelines, which is rare. When I see situations, he does take a moment where I've seen him stop and talk to someone like, "Hey, are you okay?" I've seen that feeling, especially recently. He's trying to get better and better at this. Growth is hard and it takes time. How can he be expected to grow more if he's completely taken out of the game like this? That's near impossible. From what I've seen, Green has just done a lot better. I'm not going to go over too many because a lot of it's already been said, but my short piece is he's done tremendous steps, and growing is hard, so we should let him to continue to do that without completely stripping him from a game that he enjoys and is basically another part of life that we all enjoy. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Bill Nero's Havenside. I've known Green literally the entire time that I've been a part of this game, which has been 7 years this month. So I can pretty well speak to his character. I think he's a great person on and off the battlefield. I think he's a great person on and off the battlefield. I've fought with him for many years. He used to be fighting company members and everything like that. So I know how he fights, and I know that there are times that he can get quite heated, and it's just like it's the type of thing that it just takes a minute to stop, and he recognizes it when it happens, and he almost always regulates to the point where nothing really needs to be, I'm not good at speaking in this kind of context so well, so but yeah, I personally am of the opinion that I think that this specific ban of him not being able to participate in battle games is a bit of an exaggeration, a bit of it's just not necessary for what I mean, because I also have not personally seen the things that have been complained about, like the two supposed instances of like gross misconduct or whatever it was. But if I were to extrapolate from every other experience that I've had with him, I would say that this specific punishment does not fit the crime. That's all I need to say. Thank you.
Hey everybody. My first day in the game, I met Torg and I met Green. Torg threw armor on me, Green threw me across the field, all the shoves he could. And that was how we built up our brotherhood that way. It was a really fun thing. Our fights are always in the beginning. He was very level-headed. There was a time where there was an arc and he was losing his cool. Got his 2-month suspension. It seemed like that fixed it. It kind of is wavering back and forth. I'm not a big fan of the 6-month one, in my opinion. I'm kind of a middle guy on this one. I can see both sides. I think 2 months to cool it for a bit is a good idea. That's where I'm at. So there's my 2 cents.
Hi, I am Chris Mir. I'm of the same park as Green the Blue. I do not know Green very well, very personally, but I've interacted with him a lot over the past year and a half. And I know many people who are good friends with him. I've known Green to be a very supportive and knowledgeable and friendly and helpful person in general. On the battlefield, I have noted, to preface though, I also didn't know anything about his previous suspension from the game. I did not know much. I don't know any of the details about the 2 major instances regarding this suspension that have been discussed. So I'm very much an outside perspective on this. But in general, when I fight alongside or against Green the Blue on the battlefield, I do see a lot of that frustration. And it is a lot more consistent than I see from other people who may get in the heat of things sometimes. I very frequently see him as someone who gets very taken out of it if he takes a death, and when he wins a fight, he seems like he's just frustrated at having overcome an obstacle just now more than anything else. And I've seen him be very aggressive, not just in casting, but barking orders to people and then berating them afterward when they did not follow them, even after the gaming had ended. And so I look at the nature of the suspension and I see how very focused it is on battle gaming in particular. And that tells me that the people who wrote out this suspension are very much aware of the same things that I've been aware of regarding green, where outside of battle games, I don't always like the person he becomes when he is in the heat of battle gaming in particular. So that he is still allowed to spar and grieve and participate, overseeing battle games and be a part of the park. Like, it's not a full suspension. I agree with the nature of the suspension. Whether it should be 6 months or 2 months, that I'm not so sure on. Especially with the context of there being a 2-month full-on ban beforehand as a slap on the wrist, which becomes a more focused but broader suspension later. I don't know. I can't speak to the BOD's or whoever decisions there, but it does seem like 6 months was applied as a perhaps arbitrary number. So maybe it is appropriate, maybe 2 months is appropriate, but I do sadly think I agree with the nature of the suspension in general. But not just for everyone's sakes, but perhaps for Green's sake as well.
Anyone else? Oh, yes, Phil.
I know I'm known for my long-windedness. I'll keep it short, I promise. I debated about coming up here or not, but as someone who has known Green since he was a teenager, I will not go into all the things everyone else has said, but I will agree with the things that people have said about him learning, to the point where Green and Oblivion's Wolf, my son, have pretty much grown up like brothers. And there's been many times where I've treated Green like my own son and reprimanded him before like my own son. So I saw all the same things, but I do want to remind those that are looking at the punishments, he is still young. He's 23. The changes that we're seeing in him in these leaps and bounds and the short time between those is because he is young and because he takes feedback in ways I have seen few people take feedback when it comes to aggression on the field. He has made more changes in the last year than I have seen some people make in the last 6 years. And I'm not talking about anybody specifically. There's too many people to number. I'm just saying, his age is a factor. As a mother, if my son, I've told him if he's out there sloughing, I'm pulling him off the field. I have said to people who fight him, I've gone to them and talked to them and said, hey, is Oblivion's Wolf sloughing? I need to know, not because of him, but so that I know that I need to pull him off. So when I'm talking about the feedback, I treat Green the same way that I treat my own son. And I will say, if you decide on the 2 months, that is plenty long for him to still have that engagement. Because I think he learns more from the in-person stuff than he did from the complete removal from the entire game before. So just keep that in mind, that the age is a factor and that we are seeing these changes because he does take this feedback to heart.
Okay, it looks like we don't have any further. We do.
Yes, one last kick.
That's my night.
5 minutes. We said 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So, this is my squire. I'm working with him on these problems. If you had told me on that first suspension if he deserved it, I would have been like, yeah, I totally saw that coming. Probably because his reputation across 3 kingdoms at the time was piss poor. I still choose him as a squire because he gives a shit. He cares. He does try to make a difference in the game, and he doesn't just sit here and try to complain or make other people's games as miserable as possible. He cares maybe a bit too much in battle gaming, but we're trying to work on that. If you give him a 6-month suspension off the field, I can't work with him on the only problem that I see that I've heard now 8, I think, total people, maybe 7. I didn't count all of them, but they're all saying the same thing. His battlefield etiquette is unfortunately a little bit more poor than we were expecting, but it's much more improved since his first suspension. I care about this man because he actually gives a shit. I care about people who give a shit about all this community. And so what I want to do is to give him the opportunity to work with me more. And one of the things I can propose is that if you want to reduce the suspension limit or just get rid of that and have him only participate on the battlefield with me at Dragon's Forge where I am holding, I will personally be there doing that to be on his side to watch and monitor and correct. I have not had the opportunity to do that very much. I do get split between my other squires who I love dearly. But please understand that if that is a possible course of action that we can take, I will do that. I will spend the extra effort. I will go out of my way to do that. I already try to help him, but I can't be everywhere at once. But if he comes to me while I'm holder, at least this is a different solution here that I think we should come up with. Taking him off the battlefield is not, I think, the way this is being corrected. But I do think that the concerns are valid. We shouldn't be trying to get at, becoming overbearing to other players and frustrating them or getting angry on the field. I know he's better than that. He knows he's better than that. He told me he knows he's better than that. And it's because he cares a lot about how the way of the battle game is run and how he does in it. So I'm saying here's a potential other option if you guys want to take it. Additionally, understand I think he's a fantastic person. I wouldn't have him as my squire if I didn't think he wasn't. And I think that he's improving a lot. And I've seen it since his suspension. And that's all I have really to say. So thank you.
Yes, please.
I've known Green for not super long. There was a long time where I've known Green for not super long. There was a while where I just knew him as someone on the battlefield. And in all of my time with him on the battlefield, I've not seen anything that I personally think is aggression. I have seen him be loud, which we all sort of need to do so that people actually hear our incants and being told, hey, you're stunned. And I think that's fair. Again, I've not seen any aggression. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. I do also think it is incredibly hard to work on situational aggression in a place where you can't be in that situation. Green is not aggressive, and I've not heard anyone say he's aggressive off the battlefield. So if there's only one place where he is aggressive, and even then, I've heard plenty of people say he's working on it. I think he will be much more effective working on it if he can still participate on the battlefield.
What up, folks? Come on, I've been friends with Green for a really long time. He's a couple years younger than me. We grew up. We both started the game when we were both teenagers. Right? I was a little bit older than him. We're both very hot-headed. I go through the same struggles he goes through. But in this game, hot-headedness gets skewed a lot of the time. You have to be loud in Android. And most people don't understand that. Like, it's really hard to quietly play the game where we point at people and go, I got you. Like, And then if someone else is, I got you that guy, like, what do we do? You know, like, if our appeal process and our ban process are their things, and our BOD is doing their best, and I appreciate all of the people, you know, if this ends and Green he's gone, got him, he's out 6 months, you know, get him, you know, he's gone 6 months, whatever. Like, we'll see him in 6 months, you know. But it doesn't take into account every single aspect of what it's like battle gaming specifically. It's very intense because you have to be yelling, right? I've had people come up to me like, hey, you need to calm down. And I was like, buddy, I have a helmet on. I have to scream at you just so you can hear me. I'm not mad at you. I'm just telling you what's happening, right? Because there's a lot of confusion. And I see that happen with Green all the time. It happens to us all the time. And maybe we will scream at each other, but that's just because we're friends. We do that. Like, I'll do it to him in the car. Like, it's fine. But, like, for other people, I see it. And I see people being like, whoa, that's a little much. Or being like, hey, that guy's a little much. But it's just because you're in it. And you have to be loud. You have to be doing all the things. And it can be overwhelming, specifically, too. And Green has been doing leaps and bounds better. I swear. Like, it was bad. It was bad, guys. It was bad. Like, the first suspension, warranted. I told him, I was like, dude, don't even appeal it. Just ride it out. Do better, right? And he has been doing so much better. His games are great. He interacts with his community. And when he is playing, he is trying to play more reserved. But I've also told him to just stop. He's doing better. And I just think it needs to be taken into account that, like, loudness and aggression are two separate things, especially when you apply the lens of amp cards. That's it.
Hi everyone, I'm Aldrin. Hi Aldrin. So, I'm also one of Green's roommates, but Green is also one of the first players that ever came up to me and talked to me when I was starting this game. And one thing that everyone here has talked about how his aggression has gotten better. It has. Is it still there? Sometimes. But that's the heat of battle. That's part of, not a necessary part of our game, but it happens. The thing that I want to kind of talk about is one of the things that I heard on his suspension was concerns about cheating and breaking rules and not caring about them. This is the man who literally taught me the class that I care about. This is the man who constantly loves hearing feedback on how his playstyle is and hearing and learning about different rules interactions. He's one of the few people that I will trust to clarify a rule question in the middle of a battle. It is one of those things where, with such a vocal and active battle game focused LARP, that we get lost in the sauce and kind of lose that sense of distance and collectiveness that, while he does still need to work on it, it is nowhere near as troublesome as what it was. It is one of those things where I will never fear going up against that man, because I know even if something does happen, like hit to the head, aggressive vocalization, it is not something that he has ever meant to do. It is just his personality ramps. He gets so focused on everything that he loses that collectiveness. That's mostly what I wanted to focus on. So.
Hello, I'm Anthony the Loin Artist. Nice. My grandfather used to say, and if you know me, you're probably done with this phrase. The wheel of justice grinds slowly, but it grinds exceedingly fine. I think this is already a case of double jeopardy, in my opinion. I think that despite what you may feel in this situation, and no matter how good the BOD has been, no matter how good any of these processes have been, no matter how much legitness has been added to this claim. I personally think that with it being a claim that it is anonymous, I think that does do some harm to it. Now that Farland has spoke up, I do think that leads more towards, in my opinion, a double jeopardy for something, with him being under that form of magnifying glass, as mentioned. And with that, I think this is exceedingly more. This is just another situation to down him on this situation, and I think that he's already done a punishment of an outright ban, which is an exceedingly harsher punishment. And again, I don't think that's grinding exceedingly fine. I think it's been grinded. Thank you.
So, I'm Vel. I see Green out at Satyrs Hollow almost every year. I see him from watching, not being in the battlefield with him. I've seen him while fighting in battles, against him, with him, all of the above. Before his previous ban, a lot of hot-headedness. He came back, and there was a drastic increase of, like, whoa, he's doing so much better. This is so good to see. I believe that, like a few other people have said, you can't learn something just by ignoring that. You can't just walk away, ignore, come back and do better. Being fully banned for 6 months, I don't think is going to have any teaching opportunity. His knight has said that he wants to be there to help teach and help guide. That's what the knight is for. That's what the belt lines are for, is to help and guide and teach. That can't happen if he's banned for 6 months. He can't even be off the field with his knight for 6 months. I have never personally seen him or heard him bad talk anybody or badmouth or spread rumors about anybody. And again, I see this guy every week and I have conversations with him almost every time that I see him out there. I don't think that it should be a 6-month ban. I agree with a 2-month off the field, but still hanging out, leaving, learning, being with his knight, having these opportunities to learn. You can't fix something if you aren't there to actually fix it.
Okay, looks like we've got through it. As I bring it to close, I want to offer a few points of clarification about some of the things that were said. Firstly, I want to clarify that this was handed down by the disciplinary team, which is made up of your KPM, your Monarch, and your National Reeves. Your disciplinary team. We as BOD members do advise that we are not the ones adjudicating on this. Lastly, on your ballot, you'll see. Oh, I also wanted to say there was a lot of conversation about the suspensions. I want to reiterate these were complaints we received following the initial suspension. So that's just to reestablish the timelines here. And then I want to say on the ballot there will be a question to uphold or to stop the ban. And then there will be a follow-up question that says, if you voted to uphold, do you agree with the reduced sentence? So that's how that'll. If you have any questions, please ask people before you vote, because we've had questions in the past. Great. I'm going to bring this to close. Thank you all so much for just this portion. We're still we have much more all things business. Thank you all for the great conversation and being very civil about it, and the applause was very sweet. That's all.
Good job, Allison. Good job, Allison. We still have a court to get through after this all things, so I'm trying to speed run the all things section here. So the appeals, our minutes for the prior all thing have been posted online. Does anyone have any corrections from that they would like to make at this point in time? Hearing none, I move to accept them as they are. There's been a motion and second. All in favor? All opposed? All right, looks like good enough to me. Kingdom Officer reports. The Prime Minister would like to clarify to everyone that holdings have the option to adopt the RHO and digital banking program, meaning that you don't have to let some person from your park hold on to the hundreds or potentially thousands of dollars that your park has inside of a small box in the back of their Honda Civic and you can instead put it into a safe banking program where it is going to be insured and can be tracked thoroughly. Police who do not do that program will still be required to turn in full financial reports and audits annually and remit their kingdom dues at that time. If you have any questions about that, you can contact the KPM Evering and check out the frequently asked questions that they have written up and answered that are listed on the All Thing agenda, which you can find on Discord and I believe also online. And then, in addition into that report, she's also posted the Q1 financial report. If you'd like to look at that, it's available online for your eyes or ears if you have like one of those reading things. Connor, do you have anything to say in regards to the All Thing? Cool. Champion, KGMR, or Regent, anything to say at the All Thing? All right, cool. Now we're going to move to old business. We have elections happening today for the position of Kingdom Prime Minister, which the current only candidate is Emmering Rook, who is serving pro tem. They would like to serve for a full another 6-month reign. The Kingdom Guildmaster of Reeves, we have 2 people running for the position of Moss Wildflower and Green the Blue. I'll give you both 1 minute if you would like to say something. Green, you're right here. I don't know where Moss is. Okay, Green, you can come up first. 1 minute, and then Moss, 1 minute.
Hi guys, it's me again.
Hey,
I only got a minute, but basically all I want to say is that I want to continue doing things how if I do get suspended, I'm fully down to focus solely on KGMR shenaniganries. Me and Moss have had this conversation before. Should one of us get voted, we are still helping each other on the battlefield, looking for paragons, helping the champion. If you elect me for KGMR and I get onto the BOD and do stuff, I will continue trying to put a little bit of tact into our disciplinary stuff. Because, as you can tell, I am experiencing shenanigans for myself. Anyways, that is my 1 minute.
Hey, Moss, would you like to say anything?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Moss. I'm also currently the Blacksfire Rules Rep, which is part of the rules revision process. I'm working with the rules reps of the other kingdom to change the rules of Amtgard in a playtest period that is coming up this summer, which puts me in a unique position as we roll out the playtest rules to have information about what's coming and why it is that way as we roll out those playtest changes. I'd love to be in a position in the kingdom as well as KGMR to help adjudicate and inform people of those rules changes as they come out, and also help me collect feedback as we playtest them. I also want to make sure that I am reaving and encouraging good reaving within battle games within the kingdom, and making sure that we are encouraging and enabling class guild masters to do cool and fun things with their office. That's all I have. Thank you. Woo!
All right. In addition to those kingdom level office positions, we also have kingdom class guild master positions that are being voted on today. Only a few, or only a select number of the classes have had anyone declare to run for the position. Color is being declared for by Silenus. Scout has been declared for by Angrathil. Assassin has been declared for by Taliesin. Archer has been declared for by Sylvain. Healer has been declared for by Chicory. Barbarian has been declared for by Loading. Please wait. And Bard has been declared for as the only contested one. Chicory, Dern, and Balnero Saventai. I don't think Chicory is here to say anything, but so all those people, if you know them, you can talk to them. If you don't know them, they're online in some form. Probably get hold of them if you have any questions. But there is not going to be a write-in spot for those positions. Someone is declared for it. It'll also just be after the elections. Monarchy will have to appoint people for those positions if they feel necessary to appoint someone for them.
Which ones are undeclared for?
The ones that are not Color, Scout, Assassin, Archer, Bard, Healer, and Barbarian. I don't have the full list, but there's Monk, Druid, Paladin, Anti-Paladin. I think that's monster.
Write me in for anti-paladin
anyways,
warrior.
it's not. There's no write-in position available on the ballot for you. You cannot write anyone in. It's not there.
Point me then.
Yeah.
All of you guys are failed ones.
Moving on. There are two other things we voted on. Appendix A, there's an alteration to the requirements for the Marquis position. The Marquis position used to be, or is currently below a position, and the requirements to get the position above it are like already satisfied to get Marquis. So it's like Marquis is harder to get than this one, but it's lower than that one. So we're just altering it so that it's different now. And that's Arrow 9. And then Appendix B, a very important one, is a change to the corpora so that we may have a closed ballot for our board of directors. As it was discovered recently that our current process of having closed ballots for board of directors, like we assumed we had, was not what our bylaws actually said we were supposed to do. Our bylaws said we're supposed to have open ballots for those. We think anonymity, or some people think anonymity would be cool, and so that is something that's being proposed to allow anonymous voting for the board of directors elections that will be coming up in about a month. Any questions about any of those things that have been discussed here in old business?
Was the final one you were discussing about the anonymity to follow through with the legal precedent? Or just because we were doing it, so we should just make paperwork match what we're doing?
So it is how we have been doing it for years. We assumed that it was a closed ballot. We did have a all thing earlier in the week to make it so that this one can be voted on here before actually having the election next month. It is. I don't technically believe it is a legal requirement for us to have closed or open ballots one way or the other, but I think it's just some people have the opinion we should. I'm not going to give my opinion one way right now, but if you want it, happy to give that later. And then, any other questions?
I would say it's more of a clerical.
That's why I wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
It's modification, we have to go through the process.
Yeah, just clarifying.
Because our bylaws currently say they're supposed to have it open, and we're trying to change it.
All right. We're then going to move to new business. We have several new things that have been brought forward to expand ward authority to different positions, to create a elected kingdom ombudsman office as a person that can be sort of as hopefully as non-biased as possible to help with mediation and helping with conflict things, so that not necessarily every conflict between people has to go up to full-on grievance level. We might be able to resolve in other ways. There's a proposal for changing election formats to allow different forms of voting besides just straight majority rules. And then, as well as a proposal to change how votes are taken in to ensure more security in the voting process and the retention of those ballots. All those things have been posted online. They should be available on the website and on the Discord. They're here on the All Thing agenda. There's links to them just through that you can look at. Those are the proposals to change our bylaws, policies, and constitution. There's also been a change by Solen's proposed to request a populist poll to remove Facebook as an additional kingdom-managed social media outlet. The proposal is to remove Facebook as an official social media platform for Blackspire. Reasoning. One of the main reasons we moved to a website for an official means of communication for Blackspire was that Facebook's new terms of service violates AmGuard's zero-tolerance policy by condoning hate speech and rhetoric, as well as the platform and its operations being a hostile environment. I would like to recommend we remove Facebook as an officially supported Blackspire social media. While it could still operate as an unofficial platform for those who so choose to upkeep it, I think we should remove ourselves from it in an official capacity. There are other reasons to encourage this move, such as Opie's comment about AI invasion causing disruptions and difficulty with algorithms showing information and the like. A voter poll for this has been added to your ballot. And I think that'll be on should be on this ballot. Because this is not an actual report change, it's just a poll. We're allowed to poll things whenever we want to poll things, because there's nothing official about a poll. And then finally, elections and appointments upcoming. Summer BOD seats elections are in June. There are 4 seats open. If you're interested in a position, you must declare for a specific seat by May 23rd, 2026. That is like about a week away, a little bit under a week away. If you're interested, or no, I think it's a week away. If you're interested, you have to declare by then. If you'd like more information about what being on the BOD is like, there are several BOD members here who I'm sure would be interested in telling you what it's been like. I'm one of them. I'd be happy to do that after this. That's all the new business things. Those can be talked about. We prefer for that discussion to happen online on forums like the Discord, where just other people can feed in. Some of these questions have been answered there. And the vote is a month away, so we don't need to waste any more time necessarily talking about those right here. I will allow, we'll say 10 minutes of discussion about the real quick, if anyone wants to say anything, just because that will be noted on here. Yeah, if you'd like to come up and say something, you're more than welcome to.
I'm Ryan. I was actually I would have to put it for next month, but I had recently offered to be the Facebook liaison to kind of make sure that the Facebook group is also getting the same kind of information that's going on the website for people who can't or don't have to use the store. I should try to have as much influence as possible in limiting some form of communication, whether people don't like it. I think the more we talk about it, the better reach that we're going to have. I do want to ask for specifically for a sign that says I'm always able to find
I'm not exactly sure about the zero tolerance policy. It might have been.
It may not actually be called zero tolerance. It's the non-discrimination zero.
The inclusion policy.
I have seen. I forget where people have been suspended with related to the zero tolerance commentary. I will try and find the official that I myself am, whatever that is. I'm myself about the originator of zero tolerance.
I know, I've heard it before. I just wanted to know where I can find it. Because, like I said, the only thing I can find is
I believe it's the
that would be the inclusion policy. Okay. But yeah, I would really like the opportunity to continue being a Facebook liaison. So hopefully we're not discarding the 2,000 people that are on that page.
Anyone else like to speak one way or the other about that proposal?
I will bring up one very observation. A lot of the people who I have seen over the years fight for Facebook are people who are not particularly active in members. And they're very much, I'm sure some of you have heard the term old guard. They're people who like things how they were, but they don't necessarily participate today. And they don't come out all that often, maybe a couple times a year, a couple times, every few years. So of the people who are active on Facebook and active in the game, we should consider them. Absolutely. I'm not saying that we should get rid of Facebook forever, as much as I despise the platform myself. I'm saying we should not have it be considered an official form anymore, because neither the Discord's not official either. Like, it's not at all. Our only official I'll get to you. The only official thing we have and consider official is the website.
That was going to be my response. The decision has already been made that the official channel is the website. This is simply a matter of, are we cutting off a lane of communication to players? And I really I don't know the conflict between the inclusion policy and the terms of service, but we have moderation power over our own page.
Right.
So I don't see how, if pages outside of our control aren't moderating themselves properly, we are still in control of moderating, and we can enforce our own stricter policies over what Facebook might impose. And that sounds like what the issue is that they're more open to allowing speech that we are acceptable, that we don't find acceptable. But on our own page, we have the power to moderate that. So this is just cutting off a lane of communication for people that don't, for whatever reason, run Discord. I run both equally. And so I look for information on either platform personally. And I try to engage on both platforms where I can. So I would like to look into the conflict between terms of service and inclusion policy. But I think we have the power to hold our page to the higher standard. And I think that is probably something we do.
I will say that one of the problems with Facebook as an official means of communication is that it does require personal accounts to manage and moderate pages. And as part of that, those personal accounts are very hard for trained people and people who change their names to go by their legal names in many cases, which makes it hard for potentially elected officers in our kingdom to manage those pages because they may not be able to actually have an account that they feel comfortable representing themselves under. And so I think part of it is sort of there's a difficulty in making it a tool that we can fully manage. And so it's just sort of I think this is just sort of making Facebook the same as Discord is. Just our website is our one official means of communication. Everything else is just extra sauce on top.
So what this proposal will set into play is written verbiage stating that Facebook is not, because right now we just have that there is no anything in the report or anything otherwise saying anything about social media. Just that our website is our official form of communication throughout the kingdom. And people keep bringing up, well, Discord is our official social media. Facebook should be our official social media, or those are different from the website. So this helps bring in, it's like, no, Facebook is not our officially endorsed social media. And to be honest, neither is Discord. The thing with Discord is the majority of Black Spire players prefer Discord. That's another conversation. That can be another poll. If somebody wants to come in and say we shouldn't have Discord as our official social media either, good for them. I don't care either way. But this puts it on the plate that we're saying, Facebook specifically, because I'm biased. That's my position. I don't like Facebook. I'm tired of hearing people talk about we should have Facebook as our official social media and all of that, specifically from the people who don't play anymore. But that's the thing. It's like all this does is bring into the verbiage of official social media and what is and isn't, or what should be and shouldn't be. So.
All right, last comment, and then we're gonna carry on because we still have more to get to today.
I was gonna say I've never seen a fan group follow specifically one singular page. I do think that's kind of ridiculous to have just one singular setting that we only go to, and it's Facebook. And the fact that Discord is such why would we do that? Why is this an argument? You can post the same thing on two things.
Yeah. So none of this removes Facebook.
Exactly.
That's not what I'm out for.
I'm just saying you could just post it twice. It's all fine.
Official versus unofficial. That's it.
I think it's great.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and call this all thing to a close at 4:51. Now we're going to move on to court. Pray 10 for court! Okay. We're going to have awards and stuff given out if you want to be listening and participating in that, but the business stuff is done. If you want to keep fighting, please take it a bit further away, because whacks are loud.
Whacks are loud, too.
Yeah.
Kingdom of Blackspire! I now call to order the court of your state, Brodar!
Hi, everybody.
Very here.
So I go grab my swords for ditch and they quarter me.
That's how that works.
I didn't even like ditch, and I was gonna do.
How many times have I scrolled on in the last 20 minutes without using it? That's raw.
Welcome everybody. Thanks for coming to this KLE. Happy to have you all here today. It's weird weather, but I'm still glad that we got a whole bunch of people out here, and it's nice to see all your faces. First, to start off, we're going to have some announcements of the things that happened today in the tournament, the battle game with the Relic and the Chef Circuit. And I'll pass it over to Rock to make those announcements.
All right, so today we held a Morrigan tournament, and I am now going to announce the winner to the populace, although they already know that they won. So congratulations to Leon Oscura for their victory in the Morrigan tournament today. Hip, hip! Hip, hip! Hip, hip! All right, and moving on, our lovely regent, the Dark Prince, ran his next part of the Chef Circuit, and the winner for that today was Saint Murtaugh. All right. Now, could I please have the members of Team 1 from the battle game this morning forward? That would be Letterland, Kipjin, Taliesin, Oswald, and Louie before the court. Disarm. I'll take a 2, but it is a 1, I promise. The ass backland is a 1.
Definitely don't.
They brought a ringer in.
They did. Don't break yourself again, please. That was a safety roll.
Congratulations, Team 1, for winning the Province Pod Relic. All 5 of you can discuss among yourselves.
It's going to the This is such a sick hood. I want to wait 6 months and I'm going to wear it. I forgot, there's also a relic for the winner of the Chef Circuit. So can I please have Saint Murtaugh before the court? Cool. A representative thereof? No, next time. Cool. And then finally, our last announcement for the day. Our next KLE will be mid-raid on June 6th at Eternal Glades. All right, we're now going to move into our awards. Karens will be presenting them all. Most of them. Could I please have loading? Please wait before the court.
This was supposed to go out last rain, but you won the Hair of Black Spire competition.
Hip hip! Huzzah! Hip hip! Huzzah! Hip hip! Huzzah! Look at those locks! Beautiful! Could I please have Magnus before the court?
There he is.
What's up, Bell? Magnus, a singer of songs, a writer and righter of wrongs. The Paragon Bard exists mostly to annoy everybody else on the field. I can think of none better than you.
Hip hip! Huzzah! Hip hip! Huzzah! Hip hip! Huzzah! All right. Could I please have Waylon before the court?
I'm gonna be honest, I thought you already had this. A deep breath taken, an arrow silently knocked. The cries of dead, pinned or suppressed in submission. The arrow flies swift and high. The armor cracks, the target falls. A Paragon archer and the thralls of battle. On this day, May 16th, the Kingdom of Blackspire makes Waylon a Paragon archer. Six order of battle.
Hip hip!
Huzzah!
Hip hip!
Huzzah!
Hip hip! Huzzah! Could I please have Baroness Moss Wildflower before the court.
I have these on.
That's not close enough for two Swift, the wild and he's directed thee. Undead minion. Moss Wildflower, Paragon Wizard. Can you feel it? Something just changed. I believe that's the sound the world makes when it pisses itself. Void, the way of kings. All for you, my friends. Roll my Emmering Rook, by the way. Congratulations to our newest Paragon Wizard.
Huzzah!
Only one for now.
That's not all. As everyone here knows, Moss is absolutely terrifying on the battlefield. Multiple Paragons. Just devastating in tournaments. Won the Morgan tournament last reign, and then won the Merry Band tournament last KLE, putting you in line for Warlord. She who will can, who try does, who loves lives. I award you Warlord. And in addition to that, this lovely award was made by Rock right here to give you Battle Master.
Nice!
And so this is reversible, so it's got the Battle Master on the inside and the Warlord on the outside.
Yeah, get that whole one.
For your newest Warlord and Battle Master, Moss Wildflower! Hip hip!
Huzzah!
Hip!
Huzzah!
Hip!
Huzzah!
Rock, you will be getting -1 dragons for that.
I think that breaks the system and puts you at 99.
No, I
It's a circle back around. Here's the 256.
All right.
That's everything.
All right, I think we're going to go to close the court.
All right. So, if you've been to a court that I run before, you know how I close it. I'm going to say a lot of words. Say them back to me. And so,
Say it back to me. Say it back to me.
thank you, populace. I love you all. And so, for our lovely king, His Majesty Brodar, long life!
Long life!
And for our dark prince, the regent of our fine kingdom, a swift death!
A swift death!
Yeah.
I thought he was dead already. Alright, back to everybody.
Undead. Wildflower. Long life.
Long life!
Oh, he's undead. That's fine.
He hasn't been under battle for 36 seconds yet.
I was using that! Raven Child.
Bring him as a.
Nice try. I renounce my oaths. Ooh.
It's about time.
Medical, thank you.
In the court.
Yeah, I got it. Where were we?
Long life. Mine is done.
Yours is done. Long dead.
For your Dark Prince, Karis, long death! Long death! For your champion, Total Wildflower, long life! Long life!
For your GMR, Theory. We're hiding.
Long life! Long life!
For your KPM, though she's not here, Emery Rook, long life.
Long life!
Satyr's Hollow.
Satyr's Hollow!
Satyr's Hollow.
Satyr's Hollow!